Next on Worcester News tonight, a week before Super Tuesday, presidential politics is heating up in the city. And Restaurant Week is underway in Worcester. We give you all the tasty details next. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. Massachusetts Department of Transportation holding a public information meeting on the proposed Route 20 Charlton-Oxford roadway reconstruction project tonight. The purpose of the meeting was to provide an update on the design of the proposed reconstruction project on Route 20, beginning at Richardson's Corner in Charlton and extending more than 3 miles east to Route 12 in Oxford. The goals of the project are to improve the safety conditions of the roadway as well as address traffic operations at the adjacent intersections. The temporary fixes have been completed. Representative Paul Frost says the next step is the permanent fix.
What you're seeing today is the first of many, I think, public hearings and planning sessions and so on and so forth that have to take place before work can even begin. And the entire process can take anywhere from 3 to 5 years when you have to do planning, you have to do permitting, you have to do studies, you have to do environmental impact studies, you have to do land takings where you have to negotiate with private landowners for taking parts of their land so that you can widen the road.
Massachusetts voters go to the polls next week as part of Super Tuesday. It could be a defining day in the presidential primary season, and candidates are setting up shop right here in Central Mass. Our Andy Madison has more.
I am a volunteer for Hillary Clinton.
Phil Palmieri spent Monday making phone calls for Hillary Clinton's campaign.
She has, a breadth of experience on so many issues, and has been certainly more than a breath of fresh air.
This office just opened for the Democratic candidate this weekend, one of 6 in central and western Massachusetts. Her opponent, Bernie Sanders, also has an office in Worcester. And this weekend, he got some support from a baker who made this cake for her son on his birthday.
I think we'll probably have at least maybe some blue cupcakes or something, with the Bernie theme going, since I have a new voter in the House.
I would not have predicted this.
Sanders is campaigning in Massachusetts this week, and he isn't the only one. GOP candidate John Kasich stopped in Worcester over the weekend. The area is getting some extra attention before next week's state primary.
It's a swing county. It's one of those counties that could go for Donald Trump. It's one of those counties that could go for Hillary Clinton. So you're going to see some presidential ties here to Worcester. It's not a coincidence that Donald Trump was here a couple months ago.
Massachusetts is one of several states part of Super Tuesday. It could also be a key state in election season, especially with the 2 Democratic candidates so close in the polls.
Look for Super Tuesday to favor both frontrunners, and look for a very, very big turnout in the November election if it's Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
Bernie Sanders returning to Massachusetts today as he tries to boost his support after a tough loss in the Nevada caucuses. Sanders has already visited Worcester during his campaign, and tonight he held a rally at UMass Amherst. Allison King has more.
For anyone who questions the connection Bernie Sanders has made with young people, you only had to look at the crowd of more than 7,000 that gathered at UMass Amherst to know it's very real.
We don't have a super PAC. You are our super PAC.
Sanders comes to Massachusetts 8 days before Super Tuesday, when voters in 11 states, including Massachusetts and Vermont, will allot more than 1/3 of the total delegates. It will be a high-stakes day for Sanders, but he's confident he will do well.
Let's make history here in Massachusetts. Thank you.
Why are you so crazy right now?
I just took a selfie with Bernie Sanders, and that's my dream, so my life's complete right now.
Are you going to actually go to the polls and vote?
100%. I'm going to get my friends there too.
Earlier in the day, Sanders paid a visit to Ironworkers Local 7 in South Boston, where he got the union endorsement and took some shots at his main opponent, Hillary Clinton.
I am delighted that Secretary Clinton, month after month after month, seems to be adopting more and more of the positions that we have advocated. That's good. And in fact, is beginning to use a lot of the language and phraseology that we have used. In fact, I think I saw a TV ad, I thought it was me.
Sanders says he will continue to outline major differences he has with Clinton on issues like campaign finance and trade. As for whether he can find a path to victory in a primary contest that seems to heavily favor Clinton.
You know, let me say something. Everyone here, is there a path to victory? The short three-letter answer is YES.
Drinking water concerns at a Charlton high school. The school says the water is safe, but the superintendent tells us more needs to be done by the company responsible for the contamination. It's been an ongoing issue. Our Patricia Nicholas is following this for us and has the story.
Superintendent John LaFleche says the water at Bay Path Regional Vocational Technical School is safe to drink, even though traces of the gasoline additive MBTE are still showing up in tests.
The level is very low. We're between 1 and 6 parts per billion. The legal limit is 70. So the water's safe to drink.
More than 25 years ago, an Exxon underground gas tank exploded, putting gasoline in the water table. LaFleche says ExxonMobil has since been monitoring the water at Bay Path. The company says the state's Department of Environmental Protection has never indicated ExxonMobil responsible for the MBTE found in the school's water.
We are concerned that if the plume that has been detected elsewhere in the town were to come this way, our levels would increase.
MBTE may be linked to cancer. LaFleche says ExxonMobil should take responsibility for the safety of the school and town's water by building pipes.
ExxonMobil Corporation that made $6.5 billion between October and December of 2015. That's $72 million a day they're making. And I think it's time for them to step up.
Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection has put out a statement saying Mass DEP continues to work with officials from Bay Path, the town of Charlton, and ExxonMobil to monitor the levels of gasoline additive MTBE in the water source at the school. Mass DEP considers the water at the school to be in compliance with all drinking water regulations. However, the school must continue to monitor the levels on a regular basis and report those results to Mass DEP. Patricia Nicholas, Worcester News Tonight.
Massachusetts is considering establishing a rattlesnake colony off an off-limits island in the state's largest body of water. The plan, endorsed by Governor Charlie Baker, would house endangered snakes on Mount Zion at the Quabbin Reservoir. A handful of snakes will be raised at Roger Williams Park Zoo in Providence, Rhode Island, and placed on the island in a couple more years when they are mature enough to survive in the wild. Wildlife experts say the fears that the snakes will escape and make it to the mainland are completely irrational. There is a public meeting tomorrow night in Orange. A warning tonight to stay off area lakes and ponds. The ice may appear safe, but several days of mild weather may be impacting just how thick the ice actually is. Our Brittany Schaefer has the story.
Another day of above freezing temperatures in Worcester has experts calling into question the safety of ice conditions.
So many of our bodies of water are unsafe at this point, so we should consider every body of water to be unsafe at this point.
According to Mass Wildlife, ice must be at least 4 inches thick to support activities like ice fishing.
Yesterday there were people out here ice fishing. I was driving down to I-190. I didn't think it was safe, but they were out there.
One day it's 50 degrees, and the next day the wind chill's minus 20. So until you have a consistent cold snap, which goes on for a week and a half, where the temperature is consistently below zero, that ice is going to be subject to freezing and rethawing.
Deputy Fire Chief John Sullivan says the problem firefighters see most often is people running after their pets onto the ice.
Obviously, our four-legged friends, they distribute their weight a lot more evenly, and they can get out further, but unfortunately, again, once you get near a soft spot and you're through, it becomes very difficult.
Eddie Phelan says last year a Worcester man fell into Indian Lake after chasing his dog.
They pulled him out in the stretcher. He's all right, though. He's good. But again, running out after your dog, it's only natural.
Sullivan says the best thing to do in this situation is to give the fire department a call.
If you do see an animal out on the ice and it is in distress, please give us a call. We have the equipment and the suits and everything ready to go.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A North Brookfield man appears in Western Worcester District Court Monday. Paul Menard faces multiple charges, including rape and indecent assault and battery on a person 14 years old or older. Menard is held on $25,000 bail and is due back in court on March 18th. A Framingham man charged in an assault that caused a campus-wide lockdown at the University of Massachusetts Amherst is being held without bail. 19-year-old William McCown appeared inside a Belchertown courtroom this morning. He was arraigned on charges of armed robbery and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. McCown and another man allegedly assaulted a UMass student last Thursday during a drug deal on campus. The second suspect has not been arrested. McCown will be back in court on Wednesday for a bail hearing. The wife of comedian Bill Cosby answered questions in Springfield today in a defamation lawsuit filed against her husband by several of his accusers. Yesterday, a federal judge rejected a motion to try and stop Camille Cosby's deposition from happening. Lawyers for Cosby argued that Camille has no information on the woman's claims against her husband and that all of her conversations with her husband are protected under a Massachusetts marital disqualification rule. A judge, however, disagreed. Cosby continues to deny all of the sexual assault allegations against him. Well, a tasty start to the week here in Worcester as the winter edition of Restaurant Week kicked off. 40 restaurants take part in the event, creating a unique menu and lowering their prices, making a three-course meal available for only $23.16. The goal of the week is to allow people in the city to sample what all of the restaurants have to offer in an affordable way and create business for restaurants during what can be a slow period.
We put about 40,000 people in restaurant seats during this 2 weeks. And it has grown, it's become more popular. It started because the winter doldrums, this is not a good time in the restaurant business, and after Valentine's Day, before St. Patrick's Day.
The event runs through